he wanted it in, and so did Will. But the problem was Will's character in that scene, the one when I have the heart attack, he was too passive. He's like, I'm ready for the wine mixture. I want it. Give me the shot. And I was like, you get the shot? He's like, oh, wow. And they wanted him to be more, I'm snapping necks and cashing checks. I'm ready. I want it. They wanted him to be more aggressive. So we had to go shoot it again. And that's when we came up with the whole pow thing. Pow! Pow! And that was all improvised too. We're just basically harassing each other. Come up with different ways to make each other laugh.
One of the outtakes is just John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell when they're applying for jobs in tuxedos. And they're just they got their eyes rolled back in their head, and they're just doing robots back and forth. They're in chairs, just going back and forth, just looking up at the ceiling, and it's inexplicable. It's absolutely the rhyme and reason has been tossed out to it.
Which is the best. I love when what's the justification behind it? Don't need it. Don't need it. Just suck it. That's the way it is. I also loved when he was going, shut your mouth. Just shut up. Shut up. Hold on. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
And he can't remember the lady's
Quit talking.
name. He keeps calling her
Pam. I don't know, but
Pam? No, it's Pam.
Pam. Just torturing all these people.
God, it really makes me crazy. It makes me call me Nighthawk. It's like it. All right, so
this is Galco.
Yeah, a pup like that.
He's a lone wolf.
Yeah. What about the pup? He doesn't have a name. Beauty like that. So sovereign American soil. We go to these countries like Liberia, and we say to the country, and I'm saying all this sort of as a question. Hey, we're going to put an embassy here. It's good to have us around because we're cool and we have military might. And the country then agrees, right? Yep. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's diplomatic. It's each country does it. Like we have embassies over here from foreign countries, and that's sovereign soil for them. That's why when the Iranians overran our embassy back in '79, that's why it was such a huge deal. Is because that was basically
that's an invasion.
Basically.
And it wasn't handled as such by Jimmy.
Jimmy was in a pinch, yeah. Jimmy didn't have much of a choice. He either had to let it happen or cause a major regional and potentially back then during the Cold War, a global war. Yeah. So he was pinched.
Stuck to his guns.
Yeah.
And I read, I've mentioned it way long ago on the podcast, the book, Guests of the Ayatollah, I believe is the name of the book.
Yes.
But when they actually show you the map of how far Qom, K-O-M, I think is the name of the town, is from the ocean, strategically getting anywhere in Iran is so bananas.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how? And then they just were giant hot air balloons filled with fuel to be picked up later. It turned into a freaking scavenger hunt. We'll get the jets, but they'll be, then we'll fly corporate. Then we'll hang out.
Planes, trains, and automobiles on a rescue mission.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And the guy, and what people don't realize is, well, you know this, but I didn't realize this until I read the book. I think it's called Guests of the Ayatollah. It is you just think that there's this radical Islamic world. No, it started right there. That's the first time ever a country went, we're running this by the Quran. That's how, everyone out.
Yeah. The revolutionaries.
Guests of the Ayatollah by whom? Who's the author of that?
The revolutionaries, that Revolutionary Guard, that was the catapult, definitely.
Mark Bowden?
He's the guy that wrote Black Hawk Down, of course.
And there's another guy that was actually one of the hostages that wrote another one. Anyway, people don't realize that was the first country to go, our Constitution. We obviously took our lead from I think the Greeks. I'm being serious. I believe.
On what, democracy or what?
The first country to write down the rules of the country.
Yeah.
Which I found, I was apoplectic, going, that's impossible. Is that correct? Am I right?
I don't know.
You're in the Marines. You earned it.
I love that too. You're in the Marines. You should know that. You know what else I used to get to? Anytime I ever said, God, it's cold out here. They go, weren't you in the Marines? It's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not freaking cold out. If I'm in the Marines, I have no pass on anything for the rest of my life.
No, yeah, you shouldn't. But you don't have to ever pay for beer.
That's not true.
Really?
I still pay for my own beer.
If I was in the Marine for 1 year and got kicked out for selling bud, I would still walk around in my dress browns.
Dress blues.
Dress blue. I thought I was going to say dress blues, and I never see a Marine in the blues.
Yeah.
I would walk, except in the commercial. So I would just walk around in my dress blues all the time, those shiny shoes, and just walk into a bar and just walk in and go,
man, I'm thirsty. It's hot outside.
Oh, God.
It's not as hot as Iraq, though, I tell you.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I can't talk about it. Anyway, I'll just be sitting over here.
So when I'm walking on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and I walk past like the Polish embassy, that is Polish soil on the island of Manhattan.
Yeah.
That we took from the Indians for $16 and Subway.
As far as I understand, and I'm not a diplomat, but as far as I understand the
You're
rules,
a diplomat.
I am. Who am I kidding? But as far as I know, that's the deal. That your embassies are sovereign territory.
I didn't realize that until when you said it about Iran. It made me go, oh my God, there was an actual, like these days, we would just go batshit and just get a Louisville Slugger and stomp everybody.
Yeah.
But Jimmy was in a tough spot.
He was pinched. Well, and he had legitimate global thermonuclear war to worry about.
He was also like the doom and gloom guy. He was like the first. I don't think he was the first. I got to stop saying everything was the first.
Oh, well, no, but his speeches were terrible.
If we keep cutting down trees.
His speeches were, these are the hardest times we've ever faced, and actually more Americans are depressed now than ever, and blah, blah. Everything he said was just like, oh, Jimmy.
But I think he actually showed the amount of rainforest being cut down and the amount of gas consumption and how much oxygen we need.
Yeah.
So in the year 2080, we'll all be dead. And people are like, hey, Jimmy.
Slow down on the...
Hey, why don't you have Kentucky in the White House? They just won the NCAA, man. Take it easy. I guess probably. Big true. Kansas. You were at the All-Star game? It was in Kansas City?
I wasn't. I was. It was the day before the ESPYs, so I had to be back here.
Yeah, we talked briefly in my home. Riggle hosted the ESPYs, a gig I covet, but at the same time, a gig that is a lose-lose.
Yeah.
It is it's harder than hosting the Emmys. It's harder than anything because the Emmys, you're about to introduce other funny people with prompters. Someone's going to blow it way bigger than you. Like when I hosted the NHL Awards.
Yeah.
Okay. I said Stevie Weiserman.
Was it this year? Out in Vegas?
No, this year they had no host and it did not go so well. But I hosted 2 years in a row.
Okay.
I said Stevie Weiserman.
Yeah.
You would have thought I said on national television.
Oh,
people went in like, who is this? What is going? But in my mind, I've called him Stevie Y my entire life, and playing like hockey on Sega Genesis and stuff. Like, here comes Stevie Y. So the man's nickname is Stevie Y. It just in my mind on a live show because you're nervous.
Sure.
And it's on live TV. You go Stevie Weiserman, and the crowd's like, "Whoa, hey, whoa, foul, foul." And then they actually had like a Twitter social media center set up backstage,
and people just lighting it up,
crushing me.
Yeah.
Like, why does this guy host? He doesn't know anything about hockey. I'm like, and in my mind, like, do I just go explain it and then thank God for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Because Camille Donatacci came out and said, Martin Street Lewis. From Martin St. Louis. And then they cut to me to go to commercial. I go, you still mad about me for Stevie Y? Yeah. Martin Street Lewis, we'll be back after this. Nice. But at the ESPYs, you got to make fun of everyone in the room.
Well, not everybody. I chose to try to have a little fun with people in the room. Yeah, because there's people you got to call out. You got to talk to. I mean, there's certain things you have to address.
Horribly wrong for I would say 80% of anyone that's hosted the ESPYs.
Yeah.
It's like I remember Norm Macdonald, I think, doing like a John Elway joke.
Oh, he's talking about Elway's teeth.
And they just cut out to John Elway, who's like just maybe one beer past when it's funny. Like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
And there's a camera in the aisle on your teeth. I wish they were projecting Norm doing the monologue on Elway's teeth, like a drive-in movie.
And I heard rumor that Elway went looking for him at the after party. I'm serious. I heard
What better way to show you're not an alcoholic than to chase down the Canadian comic to give him the what for? Hey, man.
Yeah. Hey, you got something to say about my teeth? No, I mean,
why did he say it to my face, comedian?
Literally, I think he went looking for him to tell him he didn't appreciate
Davis's eyebrows. You laid off the teeth.
I laid off the teeth, but
why?
Because about Anthony Davis, I did go after his eyebrow because he has trademarked Fear the Brow, and so he owns it. He owns that brow. He's not ashamed of it or anything. And so I was like, well, if he's going to trademark the brow,
it's fair game. Yeah,
have a taste.
He has an extra row. He has an extra row of teeth.
What?
Anthony Davis images, please. Anthony Davis teeth.
Like the Coneheads when their jaw expands and they have
yes, he has like an extra, like a shark. He has an extra, and my Yorkie's got an extra row on the bottom. I'm not sure how it worked out, but we'll put this up on the Tumblr page. We got a really good Tumblr page that people will dig. Look at that. He's got an extra row. Riggle turned his head. Riggle's seen men step on IEDs, and he just turned his head away from Anthony.
I will say though,
Davis'
Anthony
teeth.
though had the best attitude by far.
It's because he's the new guy.
But he was enjoying it, and he was playing. You know, he got it. It was joyful.
How scared were you?
Oh, I was bad.
The ESPYs.
Oh yeah.
What's the rating on an ESPY? I have no idea.
I don't even know.
You were in the Marines.
Honestly, I don't know, but I was nervous. I'd never done anything like that before. Are you kidding me?
How did you get the job?
On
I've been in line
scale?
for 10 years, and they're like, let's get Riggle. He's been doing stand-up a couple years. He's making a go of it.
Yeah.
But you are you are naturally funny, and you were not doing stand-up all this time.
No,
you were a comedic actor. And there's like you, Joel McHale, Michael Ian Black.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's these guys that are like,
But Michael Ian Black's been in the
shot.
game for a long time.
As an improv guy. And then he went, you know what? I'm just going to go out and give it a shot.
Oh, he's doing stand-up now?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, Adam Carolla. Like, guys that just go, I think I got it. I've watched, like, there's so much stand-up on TV.
Yeah.
And Adam Carolla, by the way, is one of the few guys I'll pay money to watch talk.
Same here.
And
I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. And there's so much stand-up comedy to devour.
Yeah.
That, like, it's almost like learning a trade.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I like working with wood. I think I could be a carpenter.
I think I'll do this for a while.
Yeah, so show me how to work the saw, and then you just cut it once correctly. Is that the old saying?
I hear it. Measure once. No.
Measure twice, cut once.
There it is.
Like now, if you either could do comedy or you couldn't.
Yeah.
But like guys like you're actually out there, and there's no other hand coming with this. Because I've been told you give with one hand. I think by you during a table read.
What now?
Gary Marriage, you give with one hand, you will pull away with the other one.
I don't remember saying that's not my thing. Somebody else said that to you.
Somebody else that disliked me.
No, my thing was, I came up doing improv. That's how I came up, doing improv at the UCB. And when I was on the Daily Show,
that's sovereign American soil too.
That is sovereign American soil. When I was on the Daily Show. I shared an office with John Oliver, who's a hardcore stand-up, been a stand-up his whole life, right?
But a British stand-up. So that's like being a quarter of an American stand-up. That's like being a middle act in, like, Nashville. You know what I mean? Not a middle act here, like, say...
I don't know. My middle act in Nashville was pretty damn good. Billy Wayne Davis. He's a good guy.
He's great. You know Ralphie May. He sat right over there when Ralphie was here. He's a great guy.
He's a good dude,
Big
right?
shout out to Billy Wayne.
So
he's super funny.
Big props to the Middler and Nashville.
Follow.
Yeah.
He brings it.
He does.
I got Ryan Sickler going up before me. I love it.
Yeah.
My coaching tree is pretty good.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about this with another guest, but he canceled on us. We'll reschedule. But the coaching tree, my opening acts were Bert Kreischer, Ralphie May, Nick Swartzen.
You had Dr. Ken for a while too.
Dr. Ken.
Yeah, Dr.
Ryan Sickler. So if I'm Bill Walsh, it means I'll be dead soon. So I like the coaching.
Oh, but anyway,
tree.
so my point was.
Yeah, please don't let me interrupt as much as I do.
John Oliver.
Hey.
And I shared an office, and I used to drag him down to the UCB to do improv. Now, he didn't go improv from a hole in the wall, but he had the comic chops, and he knew his way around a bit to go up there and play, and he had the balls to do it. So I kind of instantly respected him for getting out and trying it, and then he threw it back in my court. He said, all right, now it's time for you to be a stand-up. Let's see what you can do. So I would go with him around New York City and just do 5-minute sets. And all I would do is tell a story for 5 minutes and see what worked and what didn't. And I would I would make shit up on the cab on the way down there because I didn't have anything. And I would just make it up. I'd make up a story. And it would be ridiculous. But I could do that enough. And eventually I had like 15 minutes. And then eventually I got 20 minutes. And then I got 25. And before long, I remember I went to Louis Black. He was at the Daily Show. He was out back smoking a butt, and I went out and just, because anytime he's around, I just want to talk to him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Louis, I was real proud of myself. I was like, I'm up to 30 minutes now on stand-up. He took a long drag and just goes, you got 7. He put his smoke out and walked back inside. I was like, fuck, he's right. I only got 7 minutes if I really thought about it.
7 you can count on.
7 I can count on.
So where are you from? What's your name? Where you from? Hey, let's give it up for the ladies in the audience tonight.
Exactly. So, but anyways, I eventually just kept doing it, building a set. And then, but here's the thing. Improv guys don't get paid. Shit, we don't get paid. The whole 7 years I was at the UCB, I never got paid a dime, but I got tons of stage time, and I got to learn a lot about sketch writing and improvising and just doing bits, and that was fantastic. I wouldn't trade that for anything, but I never got paid a dime, and that's fine. I'm not complaining, but I realized you can get paid doing stand-up, and when you have a family,